Good afternoon. My name is Barbara Fuller, and as Chair of the Board, I welcome you to this May 20th, 2025 regular meeting of the Washtenaw County Board of Road Commissioners. Our Office Coordinator, Aaron Smith, will describe how our meetings operate, how to access the agenda packet, and how people may participate remotely. Aaron.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. There are multiple ways to make public comment during today's board meeting, whether you're joining us in person or virtually. If you're here in person and would like to make public comment, please fill out the sign-in sheet now. If you're joining us virtually, we will ask you to raise your hand at the appropriate time in the agenda.
I now call this May 20th, 2025 regular meeting to order and ask Aaron to call the roll.
Chair Barb Fuller.
Present.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Present.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Present.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Present.
And then the following directors are in attendance: our Managing Director, Matt Washtenaw, our Director of Engineering and County Highway Engineer, Brent Schlack, our Director of Operations, Adam Leip, and our Director of Finance, Dan Ickerman.
Very good. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the agenda is approved as presented. We have one set of minutes to accept today. May I have a motion to accept the board meeting minutes of May 6th, 2025, appearing on pages 3 through 13 of the packet?
So moved.
Support. Additions, deletions, or corrections? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, the May 6th minutes are accepted as presented. Next, we have report of our county commissioner. We have Commissioner Caroline Sanders with us. She represents District 4. Yes, District 4. Caroline, hello.
Hello. Or should I say, good to see you again. I was on the earlier call.
Yes, you were.
We have a board meeting scheduled for tomorrow. I believe the working session, we're going to hear a presentation from United Way. And also we will have more information related to the senior millage. So I would encourage people to join us either for the 5:30 or the 7. And other than that, I don't have anything else to add. After we will be going into summer sessions, which means we will only be meeting once per month, starting June, I believe, June through August. So just in case people are looking for that third Wednesday meeting in the month, it will not be happening. Just the first Wednesday of the month starting in June. So that's all that I have to share. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good to hear from you. We will move on to public comment. This is the time set aside on the agenda to receive comments from the public. This is not intended to be a period for dialogue, and each person will be allotted 3 minutes to address the board. Aaron will explain how people may be recognized to offer comments.
Thanks, Chair Fuller. Since this is a hybrid meeting with both in-person and virtual attendees, we will take turns between those attending in person and virtually. Tiffany Oliphant, our communications manager, will notify the in-person attendees that want to make comment.
Very good. Do we have anyone who has signed in to make comments?
Yes, Madam Chair. I have 3 who would like to make public comment.
All right. Whoever that is, if you would come to the podium, please state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes.
I'll call them one at a time.
Oh, you're going to call?
Yes, ma'am. I'll call them
All
one at a
right.
time.
Ms. Oliphant, please.
You're welcome, ma'am. Can Ted come to the front?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. I live at
Your name,
9593
please.
Ted Bowl at 9593 Walgene Road. Thank you for the opportunity. I come to not only speak for myself, but my neighbor, John Sakura, and Jack, who are unable to come here. They live on Moderna roads. Specifically, I'm coming to talk about a commercial driveway permit that was put in for Cardinal Farms right at the intersection, actually just south of the intersection at 8 Mile on Pontiac.
I'm sorry, commercial.
Driveway permit. It's a very dangerous stretch of the road. And just this year, there've been 2 rollover accidents that have ended up on John and Jack's property. Jack is retired and John has 2 young children. So it's very concerning. I retired from the Navy in 2015, so I am kind of new to the area. I'm loosely aware of the deliberations that went through the library when the library was put there, but the library is much closer to 8 Mile. For those that aren't familiar with the road, you come out of South Lyon, and if you time that light, you're going 35, and it's like a race for everyone to get to 65, particularly when the traffic isn't, in the morning and the evening, it's kind of mitigated because of high traffic. But, I've caught my daughter on her Kia app going down that same stretch of road at 70. I get a text message anytime she goes over 65. And I can set it, it's kind of cool. You can set it up by the area. So, obviously I addressed that, but it's just a very dangerous stretch of the road, and I
If
just
you're
wanted
going
to bring
70.
it. Yeah, so she lost her car for some time for doing that, but she's got a lead foot, much like when I was her age. Anyway, I appreciate the board's attention, and I know it's ongoing, and I know that you're doing your due diligence. We just wanted to bring the neighbors' concerns, up front, so that would be, taken into account for anything going on. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ted.
Next, we have Paul.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Susella. I live at 9604 Waljean Road. Like Ted, I'm very concerned about the driveway that they're proposing. They originally tried to get it in as a residential driveway under the previous owner's name, and then they were told they had to go to commercial driveway under their own name. What we've seen at the township meetings, their proposals are very sketchy, not showing what the actual driveway is going to be. They were told that they had to park buses completely on the concrete or asphalt, but off of their actual drive. They told the Salem Township, no, we're not going to do that. That's not zoned that way. They've proven to be very elusive and deceptive on what they're doing. And I don't believe they're going to do the right things. The width of a commercial driveway, the number of entrances are allowed, and the space they're allowed, I don't think they're going to make it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And next we have Douglas.
There, Douglas Wallace, 9801 Pontiac Trail. We are on the north side of 9755 Pontiac Trail. I don't know if they submitted this paperwork, but I wanted to at least submit this. They had submitted it to the township. That shows 6 different degrees of where they might have a turning radius. 5 of those are actually in my yard. One of them actually already happened. We had a 22 or 24-year-old lady who actually came through our driveway to go to their driveway because they can see the house. So several hundred feet of my front yard is torn up from the damage from that. The road is slated for 60 or for 55. There is a large turn there. Quite a few times throughout the day, I can hear the air brakes from the trucks when they're trying to slow down. Medina Farms, which is the next neighborhood south of 8 Mile. If you are mapping it, looking at it, typically any morning from 7 a.m. till around almost 10 o'clock. And then in the afternoon from about 3:40 till about 6 o'clock, cars will back up all the way from there. So making a left turn on a cornered area seems very dangerous to me. It is pretty hard to get in our driveway alone. And so for adding what their purposes are, which is they'd like to have several buses come through. They did state yesterday that the buses are 35, 36 feet. So I don't know how they'll be able to angle those type of vehicles in. There isn't any right turns or left turn lanes there. The library, which is across the street, has a 750-foot span. So it has a very large open area to see where the driveway is being put in currently, or the 2 driveways that they want to put in. There's a lot of trees between the neighbor's yards, our yard, and the yard that it's currently in. So even if they widen it by 16 or 20 feet, there's not really a clear delineated line of footage being seen for cars coming and ongoing. So it seems like a very dangerous area for us on that end, as we've kind of asked. Part of that too is that when coming on and off, we've kind of asked what they might be able to do to stem if there's a problem with a car or a vehicle coming and they might turn too quickly. What is it that they're going to be able to have some sort of barricades or something towards that egress area? That was part of our concern too, because in our yard, we have the ditches. In the neighbor's yard, they have ditches. There is no ditches for the frontage there. So a car which had an accident the beginning of April, and then another car just a couple of weeks ago. So 2 accidents within a month. Both of those came at a 60-mile-an-hour pace, missed that curve and went into their yards. So with the ditch, that slowed them down quite a bit. No ditches, to me, it's very dangerous. We also have 2 retention ponds. Very nervous that if they're pulling in and coming through, that the one that did come through on our lawn on March 4th almost went in our retention pond. So
Thank you for your
time.
comments.
That is all, Madam Chair.
That's all we have. All right. So at this point, we will move on to written communications appearing on pages 14 through 20 of the packet. Commissioners, anything you wish to draw our attention to? Commissioner McCollum?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's on page 15. You'd have to go on the link. It's one of the articles,
Okay.
career growth at WCRC, Felix Weber's story.
Mm-hmm.
So I did click on it and read it. It's pretty good.
Felix is our poster child now, right? Tuition reimbursement.
He started out as a sign
Traffic control,
traffic
right?
control,
Thank-
right, and he moved his way up. So very good article. That's all.
Anyone else? No? All right. We will move on now to road commissioner and staff follow-up to public comment. I will just suggest that our managing director get in touch with these 3 gentlemen about their concerns and what role, if any, the road commission has to play in addressing their concerns, if that's acceptable to you.
Absolutely, Chair. We've been in contact with the township. Certainly, we work cooperatively. The township has the ultimate authority on land use decisions. And then certainly, from a permitting perspective, we're looking at the safety side of things. And we'll work cooperatively. It's currently, permit application is on file. We're in that review process. So
All right.
bring your concerns to our attention.
Anyone else have a response they wish to share? All right, and I would just suggest that enforcement is the key to getting people to not drive 70 miles an hour down that road to begin with. And we don't have any enforcement capacity that way. All right, if there is no further public comment, we will move on to new business. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 10? The motions appear on pages 21 through 27 with background on pages 28 through 51.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or concerns people want to have addressed on those 10 items? Seeing none, Aaron, if you would please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas?
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs?
Yes.
And Commissioner Bart Fuller?
Yes, the consent agenda is approved as presented. Next up are the reports of the road commissioners, starting with Commissioner Yamas.
Okay. So, besides reviewing all the legislative updates from CRA, which are many, lots going on, I believe I had a chat. Is that correct? Yep.
I don't know, I keep track of mine, but I don't keep track of yours. So-
Well, I was just checking my calendar,
Okay.
but, on the, it's not coming up. On the, where's my date here?
May 7th.
May 7th. All right, and that is it for my report.
Okay. Commissioner Smers?
I have chat tomorrow. Other than that, I have nothing else to report. Thank you.
Commissioner Green is not with us today. Commissioner McCollum?
Yes, May 13th, I attended the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec Commissioners meeting. We talked about the Border to Border Trail, and here's the updates. North Territorial Road to Boyce Road in Linden Township, the contractor has complete final site restoration and punch list items. There was a ribbon cutting today at 11 o'clock at the Robert Tens B2B Trailhead next to Linden Township Hall. Barton Bandemere Tunnel and Trail, in partnership with the City of Ann Arbor, the contractor Davis Construction has completed the installation of a sheet pile retaining wall. The contractor has completed additional tree and shrub plantings along the trail. Engineering and permitting are in various stages for the following trail segments. Delhi Metro Parks to Wagner Road, permit review at Amtrak is in process. Barton Dam to Maple Road, Stantec continues to develop preliminary engineering plans. Trails north of Hudson Mills Metro Parks are being evaluated and advanced through early design work in coordination with the Huron-Clinton Metro Parks, U of M, and Dexter Township. The Parks and Rec has also started implementing their asset management program, and this program will include the Border to Border trails. On May 19th, I attended the Border to Border Trails Huron-Waterloo Pathways Initiative joint meeting. We discussed the current fundraising campaign overview, lobbying efforts, 2025 state funding strategy, and the MOU agreement between the Huron-Waterloo Pathways Initiatives and Washtenaw County Parks and Rec. And I'm happy to announce I have also received confirmation that I have been appointed the chair for the County Road Association Commissioners Committee for the 2025-2026 term. And that is my report. Thank you.
Congratulations, Joanne. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I will report that on May 14th, I attended the weekly chat session. We had no visitors. And on May 17th, recently, I attended the Dexter Forum. Next, we will move to staff reports and Washtenaw County Road Commission updates. The staff reports appear on pages 52 through 58, and I will turn things over to Matt, our managing director.
Thank you, Chair Fuller. And start out asking if there's any questions on what's in the communications report or operations report or the C-Click fix or WCRC fix, excuse me. Questions on that?
I just point out on the communications report on page 53, Facebook total followers, 10,157. Total reach of 240,000. So kudos to our comms department in terms of the social media outreach and the response to that as well, in addition to Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So nice work. That's a lot to keep track of. To you, Matt.
Absolutely. One of the things I want to point out, this week I received notice, Dan Ackerman forwarded me the email, where our County Road Association self-insurance funding, CRASIF, who handles our workers' comp, gave us our MON factor for the year, which is 0.748, which is under 1. So that's something to celebrate. We're very excited about that. It does equal quite a bit of savings when it comes to paying for our insurance for workers' comp. So that is certainly something to be celebrated. Again, that's our experience in the last few years, what makes up our MON factor, and we've had some, but less than average as compared to our peers, which is a good thing.
To what do we attribute the improvements over the years? Are people getting in shape? Are they just?
I think
Craig's doing a
certainly
great job.
safety is at the forefront of all that we do.
Mhm.
And continuing that safety culture starts with every employee. But it's highlighted from supervisors to leaders on the crew to our safety coordinator, Craig Timmer, driving that home on a
Mhm.
regular basis with us. And his goal is visibility with our crews, and that's a big part of it, I think. So
Good. Thanks, Craig, if you're out there somewhere.
he is off this week, taking a much deserved
He's
vacation.
not sitting on Zoom,
Yeah, exactly.
waiting.
Waiting, he might be, I don't know. I also want to note that this will be Erin Smith's last board meeting as our office coordinator. She is taking a position in our permits group. Just want to publicly say what an outstanding job you've done as office coordinator, and also all the work that you've done with the board. I know it's much appreciated. We're
Thanks for
we're
taking care.
very excited that she's staying with us as an
Right.
organization. But also just want to celebrate the good work that she does. With her sitting alongside is Shelby. Shelby's going to be our new office coordinator and working with board members as well. So welcome to Shelby and Rockowick. Did I say that right? All right. Practicing. So she is going to be taking Erin's
Okay.
role now, moving forward, and we have posted externally her role as communications associate. So that's been posted. So if you have any good candidates, tell them to submit their resumes
Mhm.
or applications online. So anyway,
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Shelby. We'll try not to be too tough.
got some big shoes to fill. There'll be a learning curve, so we'll be patient, I promise. So. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get in the director's report. Our first up is their engineering report.
Hello, good afternoon. Brent Schlack, Director of Engineering. I'm going to plug in. Maybe I can give an update. One of the first update that I'd like to discuss is there was an Eagle grant that was given to the Water Resource Commission. And I just wanted to kind of update where that was at. So this is just kind of an overview of the area, Willow Run area. The two dams that are that received the grant are circled here. Maybe I can make it bigger so that, so one's the Buyer, so the northern one's the Buyer Dam, and the southern one's the Tyler Dam.
Top of the page is north.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. I think I just didn't make the assumption, but yeah, yes. So the one, the top of the page is the Buyer Dam. The one on the bottom right is the Tyler Dam. The Eagle grant covered both of these. And it was $2.5 million that they had received. I know Water Resource Commission, talking with them, they're evaluating what that need is. They've gone through a study. I think both was around $10 million for the removal. But so they have some work to do on determining how they're if they need to adjust scope or how they're gonna move forward with that grant. But I just wanted to make you aware of that.
So both of them, 10 million together or each of them?
10 million together
Okay.
for both is that's the estimate that they had, and they're right around 60% plans. And so they're still moving through their original grant of where they were studying this area and then developing some type of plans for removal. And that's still in that process to get everything to 60% completion for that plan set. So we've talked with the Water Resource Commission, and they're excited about the grant, but they have some work to do to determine how they're moving.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes, Brent, the north
Mm-hmm.
one, Is that on American Center for Mobility property?
I believe, yes, it is. Yes.
That's part of the challenge. In
Yeah,
order
so,
to
yeah, I
do
think the
maintenance
American,
there, you have to gain access to
Right.
ACM's property.
right.
Wow, how does that work out? They have a dam on their property, but then we're responsible for.
We are not responsible. These are Water Resource Commission dams.
I mean, well,
Yeah,
even, okay.
So how we would get impacted would be the one near Tyler Road, be the one
Right,
underneath Tyler Road,
right. Okay.
which I'll have another update in a minute about that project.
They're
Um,
always 3 steps ahead of us, Joe.
I see that. I don't know.
And now I'm gonna unplug, that way Tiffany can get queued up for her to follow along. First off, before we jump into projects, so the engineering department, we call it the Engineering Roadshow. That's where we're going around, we're visiting all of the districts. And we just tell them a little bit about ourselves. We're bringing the permits department along with us. So we visited Yard 3, which is in Chelsea, the Chelsea Yard. We visited them yesterday, and we visited Yard 6 this morning. So it's a great interaction. We tell them a little bit ourselves about our projects, and then we get into permitting a little bit and kind of introduce that group to them. So it's been a great interaction with our outside yards. So we'll continue with the other yards in the upcoming weeks. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but I believe next week we're meeting with Yard 2 and 5 on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday
Commissioner?
around lunchtime. Yes.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Yamas, did you?
Just for the public, could you tell us who Yard 6 is and 2?
Yeah, Yard 6 is our Northeast Service Center, which is off of North Territorial. And so they service the Salem, Northfield, Superior and Ann Arbor townships. And then Yard 3, they service Linden, Dexter, yeah, I don't know if Lima and Sharon. Yep, Sylvan.
Forrest, Sharon.
4, yeah. So 4 is Sharon, correct. So we visited both those yards, one yesterday and one this morning. So it's been a great interaction with those groups, just to give you an
Is
update.
that new, Brent?
We did it last year, the first time. And this year I kind of expanded it to bring one of the sections. I thought it was a good idea, primarily for our permitting, because they interact with all of our outside yards. And, we're trying to control what goes within the right of way, and we can use a lot of help from their eyes out on the street.
Okay.
So then I'll get into projects. So our Bemis Road, there's the district map. Thank you, Tiffany. So yeah, you can see Yard 3 there on the upper left corner. That'd be our northwest corner of our county. And those are the townships they service. And then Yard 6 is in the upper right or the northeast side, and those are the townships that they service. All right, now I'll move on to projects. First is Bemis Road. So Bemis, it's the reconstruction project. Yep, there we go. Thank you. That's between Stony Creek and Hitchingham. The roadway is closed, and the contractor is mobilizing on site to begin that work. We're expecting approximately 12 weeks for them to complete the project. So we're looking at about end of July for them to complete all their work, and pave that road. There's a culvert that they need to replace on Bemis as well.
So outside of school.
Yeah, for the most part, it'll be, we're closing it now, so it's right here at the end of school. We've worked with Lincoln Schools, and they think that it's better to impact traffic at the end of school than it is at the beginning, because people kind of are familiar with where they need to go and how to get there. Where the beginning, you have new drivers to the area. Tyler Road is next, which we just saw a picture of. It's Tyler Road Dam. We had a washout a couple years ago. This project, we're moving forward with. It's been paved. The paving has been complete. Now they're just working on cleanup and we expect them to reopen it this week. So that's on schedule. We were hoping to have it opened prior to the Memorial holiday and it looks like that's gonna happen. Weather permitting, we've got some weather coming in, but we're thinking that we can still get there.
Wait a minute, are all those Tyler Road?
They are.
pictures?
Those are all the updates that communication has done for this project.
Commissioner McCollum?
Thank you. That was done beautifully and fast. And I passed by it the other day. It just looks like you can drive down there, you know. Of course,
Yeah.
wait for everything, the barriers to be removed.
Right.
You know, but it looks fantastic. And
It does, yeah.
I told people the end of May, they didn't believe it because it kind of looked messed up, you know, but.
Mhm.
very
Yeah, I mean, it was quite the, I mean, as you can see from the
Yeah.
pictures, quite a lot of damage from that rainstorm a couple years ago. And so, yeah, thankfully we were able to get in there, work with the contractor. Contractor did an excellent job and they were able to get that reopened here.
Just a word of caution, this was a repair of the approach.
Correct,
So
yes.
we didn't really do any bridge work. The bridge is still deficient in a lot of
Yeah.
ways and nearing the end of its service life, but this will at least get the road reopened. And then hopefully with our friends at the Water Resource Commissioner's office, if there is a dam removal, that will certainly renew that structure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get
Thank you.
result in a better structure there. The bridge is not restricted as far as any type of weight restriction.
Right.
We do have some bad areas on the edges of that bridge, so we've kind of narrowed down the lanes. But the condition of that bridge is actually in pretty good condition, so we're traffic's able to travel over it normally without any weight restriction on it. The next is our 2025 preventative maintenance paving projects, would be 7 Mile Road, 7 Mile between Earhart and Dixboro. This is a millage project, and this is a mill and resurface. And this project is complete. So they were able to get out there and pave the road and put the shoulders back. And it's now open. The next on the schedule is Liberty Road between Zeeb and Sile Ridge Road. And it's probably, you can see the map there. It's maybe a little bit hard to see on the right side, just under where it says City of Ann Arbor. There's a small section of Liberty Road that will be paving there. Basically, it's gapping out. There's concrete near Wagner. So it'll be gapping out that concrete section. Both of those sections will be paved here. That's next on the schedule. We're looking at early June for that one for that work to begin.
What does gapping out mean?
We gapped, like we continued on the same road, but we gapped a portion of the pavement.
Ah, okay.
The resurfacing is hot mix asphalt and near the intersection, it's a concrete road. So the concrete road's in fairly good condition. And so we're skipping that.
Hence
Essentially.
the gap.
Gap,
Yeah,
paving, picking up where the concrete ends, resurfacing the remainder of our
Okay.
section of the road, because we pretty much stop at the city limits.
yes, yeah,
East
which
of,
is,
east of our area where we're stopping is the city of Ann Arbor.
right, yeah, it's just through that Sile Ridge intersection of Liberty and Sile Ridge. It's where our jurisdiction ends.
Okay.
Then just some on the weekly update, just a few permit projects. So Park and Stabler, we're continuing to work with the contractor. We're anticipating that to pave soon. We have had some soft areas that we're working with them on. So we're continuing to work hard and hopefully get that here paved soon. Platte Road south of Morgan is another permit project. This, at the end of the season last year, the contractor put some temporary pavement they widened that first center left turn lane. And they had some temporary pavement just to get that back open. And now they'll come back and mill that up and put the permanent pavement back to complete that project. So that was all required through the development through a road improvement agreement. Next would be Morgan Road, between Carpenter and US 12. That was part of the Amazon Road Improvement Agreement. So they'll be back out there, the contractor's back out, working on that road, to pave the remainder of that road, and get that back open.
I take it they got their MDOT permit.
Yes,
Good.
yes. Yes, so they're,
That was a holdup last year.
that was the holdup last year, right? And then one other project to note, it's not our project, but it's a good one to note, is Here River Drive at the railroad. There's actually, Here River Drive is closed. It's just west of Wagner at the railroad. There's a detour for that, for railroad work. That's another permitted project. But I just highlight it, because, it's close to here and, it could have some impacts on traffic. So aside from that, staff is working on fiscal year 26 projects and even 27 projects. And trying to get those, work through that process for submitting those for bid.
Do I remember correctly that on May 21st, you have a project kickoff, a 2025 construction kickoff?
We do.
Is that Adam now?
That's all of us, actually.
Ah.
So it's an all encompassing, it's a public meeting, virtual public meeting, that will cover, guardrail projects, limestone overlay, like it's kind of a catch-all, for all the other minor projects that we do that may have some impact on our, people that commute through our road,
Okay.
through our county. So yeah, I think Tiffany might bring, I don't know if she was gonna bring it up. But yeah, that's next, Wednesday
Wednesday, that's this
at
Wednesday.
11 a.m.
This Wednesday.
Just
Tomorrow.
tomorrow, yes, my bad.
You know,
I'm
May
getting
is
the-
just gonna.
I know, yeah,
This-
tomorrow, yes. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
So aside from that, that's my report, unless there's any questions.
I don't see any, no. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. All right, Mr. Ackerman.
Good afternoon, Board. Dan Ackerman, Director of Finance. My report seems to be a follow-up from our last board meeting on a number of items.
Okay.
I'll start with the big one. Again, we shared our appreciation for the board's approval of a new financial
Yep.
software system. We've hit the ground running. Last week, we brought a couple consultants in and we had 3 days from start time to quitting time and beyond of meetings with consultants and relevant staff. For instance, we talked about equipment and we had our folks from our shop in there and folks from operations, and just tried to target the strategic or key players for each module. Just talking to the consultants, talking about things that they liked with our current system, things that they didn't like with the current system, wish list items, all sorts of things. And I was quite impressed with staff. Majority of road commission staff were early to the meetings, which is great. And there's just a lot of great ideas and questions, enthusiasm. I think people are really excited. And, these were tough meetings. Some were 3-4 hours long, just kind of getting into the weeds with things. But I think Matt was seeing maybe me feeling a little overwhelmed about all this because it's a huge undertaking. But Matt said, this is only day 3 of a 6 to 9 month process. So we have to remind ourselves we're just scratching the surface with everything. But so far, so good. So like I said, staff is really excited about it. A lot of work ahead. We're hoping to get closer to the 6 months than the 9 months. But only time will tell because we want to do it right. We do want to take our time. But I'm really happy with the start that we have right now. And the next steps, the consultants will have they call them like small projects. So again, we'll have key staff involved with that to get in the weeds even further. They took lots of great notes with our dialogue back and forth. A lot of staff questions you know, can the software do X? And they're like, of course. It, you know, the system can do it. On occasion, they said, we'll have to get back with you. But there were several aha moments for staff, or, you know, the consultants would show, say, the project management piece and some of the things it can do. And again, just a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, so.
Yeah, these were termed discovery meetings. They need to understand how our workflow is and how we're reporting things financially to our general ledger. And just, it was really impressive. Everyone was very positive for the most part, and really asked a lot of good questions. Some of the way we do things were limited by how our financial system could process information. So the consultant was very good about asking, is the reason why you do that because precision is the way it is? And sometimes the answer was, well, now that you mention it, yes, that is why.
Right.
So it gave us an opportunity for pause and to really examine, you know, does that make sense?
Right.
And what are the new opportunities with the new Acumatica? And we went through a lot. I learned a lot about inventory and payroll and reporting and some of the things that I don't get exposed to. So it was great for me, myself, to sit through and kind of get
And
into
discover.
the weeds. Right.
Right.
So it was good.
Yeah.
I was very pleased with this initial first 3 days. Obviously, they've got a lot of work to do.
Right.
And ultimately, they're designing it such that we make best use of Acumatica, given the work that we do and how we report work. So a lot about workflow. So we're really excited. A lot of folks have spreadsheets to help them with their job. And the goal is to use Acumatica so that we don't have to have another spreadsheet, but it's all done within the system. So that was a big, a lot of questions were raised when, okay, why do you use that spreadsheet? What purpose does it serve? Oh, that's good to know because we can do that within the system.
Right.
It was neat.
Yeah, just look at it, you know, we've automated a lot of processes, but there's still ways to go. So I think it'll further automate things, get us even closer to paperless. They have things called dashboards that you can tailor by position. So say Adam could have a dashboard with time he needs to approve, purchase orders he needs to approve if he's tracking projects. So really helping with the management side. And this is a global company, so several times I asked them, you know, we would kind of go back and forth about procedures and process. And I would say, well, I'm asking you, what do you feel is best practices? So I think we can learn a lot from them as well. So, you know, it's you know, a very challenging initiative, but exciting as well. And continue to provide updates to all of you, but so far so good. So any questions on that? I know that was a lot. Besides that, the previous meeting, the board approved the first quarter budget adjustments. So I already am busy setting up the second quarter budgets. You know, try and stay one step ahead of that as best I can. And just to make sure that we're ready for the working session on that. That won't be until July, but I at least want to get a start on all that. Also, we had talked about the additional OPEB and pension payments, and those have been made. So that's good to get that to MERS, and we'll move forward.
So what were the amounts?
So 250,000 into our OPEB and 750,000 into our pension. And again, these are the additional payments that we discussed last time.
Way to be, Dan.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeff. Way to think, Matt. Who did I miss?
So,
Yeah.
and that's my report, unless there's any other questions.
Okay. Seeing none.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you.
And Mr. Lake.
Good afternoon, Adam Lape, Director of Operations. Touch a little bit on some of our countywide programs we're doing and just a little bit of local road program today this afternoon. So the operations crew last week, we started the countywide seal coat program. So kind of got that going hot and heavy. Trying to balance some weather obstructions right now and work on the material because it's a little bit colder. So they kind of started today and shortened the day just by design to make sure we don't get any moisture issues with a little bit of sprinkles we were seeing and just the cold temperatures in general. Because as most of you know, it's a hot applied material. So very sensitive to humidity and kind of what we have going on in the environment. And we don't really want to put it on relatively cold ground. Doesn't quite adhere like we'd like it to. We prefer a little bit of heat in the ground too. You know, nice summer sunny day would be nice, but early part of May here is not proving to be accurate or
Acting more like April is.
yeah, or consistent. So we don't know if we should put the plows on or keep going, but so we're baby stepping through that. Last week we started on the west side of the county. We typically start in a little more rural areas. As you've probably noticed over the past few years, it's a little bit easy for us to work in, and we refer to it as kind of dial in our rates. What that is, rate of stone applied, rate of sealer applied, really let the crew kind of get themselves together, how they function within the zone. Because at any given moment, there's 8 to 20 pieces of equipment moving, you know, 3 to 5 flaggers and a lot of radio communications, a lot of stuff going on in two-way traffic, not to mention the roads are still open too. So you know, we're kind of moving with constituents and moving our own internal traffic. So pretty busy, but safety certainly comes into play there. So we kind of start with a safety kickoff meeting and relating back to mod factors being improved. I think it's just culture in general at the agency is kind of changed with that, a little more responsibility, you know, put on everybody to keep themselves safe. So may go a little slower on the road some days, but that's by design on purpose. So we can kind of go home. Today, we started working a little bit more urbanized area. So by the Ypsilanti Township Hall, Huron River Drive from essentially Textile to Huron Road, there's a little bit of a kind of an eyebrow in it. That was paved last season. And so now we're coming back and we're starting our process where we try to seal these roads up within the year, 1 or 3 years of us repaving them. So they did that this morning. Far as we know, you know, everything made its way. Yesterday, we were working, like I say, through some material issues. So as far as I heard last this morning, we were doing pretty good there. We're able to close segments there on a road like that and treat it 24-foot wide. That's some of the new equipment we've purchased where we can close it for a hot second, just stop the traffic at the ends, pull the whole thing one direction. I mean, pull as in spread all the material, spread all the aggregate, roll it in, and then open the road back up within a few minutes. And thanks, Tiffany, kind of poking on that little area there. So it's got that little bit of an eyebrow look. So it's an easy option for someone if they don't want to wait for 5 or 10 minutes to go around the block, so to speak. And you have a couple roundabouts to get you right back to essentially where you would have been delayed from or detoured from. And then obviously we allow traffic in and out that people going to the township or there's a church there off of Huron Road there. That's important as well. So kind of balancing that, but yeah, so now we're getting a little bit more of the urban side of the county. So things get a little more exciting for us and a little bit more busy. So we try to be ready to go and knock the dust off before we get there.
Are the drivers being respectful? Do we need?
As of yesterday and as of today and one day last week, yes. But as it gets a little warmer, people tend to get a little warmer in their lack of patience. So their attitudes get a little warmer in the summer. So we hope that it goes well. Most of the time people are okay with it. You get a few upset people from time to time, but for the most part, they haven't given us any trouble. But the season's still, unfortunately, be pessimistic and negative, but the season's a little bit young yet.
So do we contact the sheriff's department?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so our,
If people are being,
yeah, so our 800 megahertz radio system
okay,
that we're part of the county consortium and everything, that's
Yeah.
a very important thing for us. They're basically they just turn over a couple channels and it's right on where all law enforcement, all fire, all EMS can hear that call out. So they can call right to the county and they can even track us GPS where we are if for something, you know, very sensitive, but they can call out what's going on and the sheriff's department is incredibly responsive.
good.
Matter of fact, sometimes they even come out to the jobs with us. So we have tremendous relationships.
And to that point,
They take care of us.
not too long ago, we were able to meet with the new undersheriff. So we made those connections, introduced.
Harshberger?
Yes,
Correct.
introduced Adam Lape and Brent Schlack and myself and others went over to meet with Under Sheriff Harshberger and really establish that relationship. We had that with him when he was at Pittsfield.
Yeah.
It's
different
even better, having, known him there,
Yep.
now in his new role. And they gave us points of contact as well.
Good.
So,
Yeah, yeah, great relationships there. I mean, it always has been with the sheriff, and that connects us with the EOC, so Emergency
Yeah.
Operations Center. There's a lot of things that really connect us all together. There truly are people kind of looking out for us, even though it's a little bit dangerous and sometimes people are a little bit aggressive.
Right.
We're about as safe as we can be.
Okay.
And there's a picture of our distribution truck putting down the,
Yeah, I'll actually describe that real quick.
You
I was
could.
kind of explaining the ability to go full width as in the whole road width. So you see, if you kind of look at your picture, there's two wings of that piece of equipment there. Those can actually fold out and you can get about 24 to 25 foot of road. So you could treat that all the way across in just one direction. And then our chip spreader, which spreads the aggregate,
Yeah.
the chip stone that we refer to it as, can follow right along behind it and do the same thing. And then our rollers can just roll all the segments. And we also use our trucks that are hauling the material to roll as well. So they all stagger kind of where their wheels are. And so a little bit of a method to the madness, but yeah, so we can get down the road pretty good with that. Can't do it always. Depends on kind of the nature. Is it rural? Is it urban? Are there easy ways around the road in case we delay somebody to the point where they don't want to wait? So we balance that out, and it really depends kind of on the day what we do. But we have a couple different opportunities and methods to use. So maintains a pretty good efficiency.
Do you put up the big signs that say coming soon to a road near you?
Sometimes we'll put out message boards and notify, but a lot of times we move so fast because we can go anywhere between 5-6 miles a day in good seasonal typical conditions. We can do quite a few miles a day.
Yeah.
So we're kind of bouncing around. So we get out our weekly road work schedule. So if people are subscribed to it, to the townships, those hits, we'll bump those people directly. And then the rest of the time, it's kind of our blanket rollout where we have just our weekly schedule. We'd love to be able to give a little bit more warning, but there's only so much we can do because since we're moving kind of at a quick rate, it's hard to move all the signage around.
a lot of weather issues. as
Right.
well.
Yeah, keeps us moving there.
And once again, we are very fortunate to be able to do this in-house with our own staff at a cost of roughly $40,000
Yeah.
a mile for a 2-lane road. And it's a great preventative maintenance, extends the service life of those major investments of paving.
Yeah, it's very
So-
effective. Yeah, it's very effective and our crew is very efficient, especially with our new equipment and all the, which is board driven and board supported. So we do appreciate that. In 11 years, it's only went up about $15,000 in general, maybe $18,000 of cost per mile.
Hmm.
So I mean, it still remains the most effective surface treatment we have in our repertoire, especially that we can do it internally. Doesn't add structural integrity or anything, but it just seals those roads like we always talk, just protect that road a little bit from the sun, from the weather in general. So it's very good for us to do, especially after we pave a new road. That's very expensive. There's a lot of zeros behind the price tag on that. So you spend a few $100,000 to $1 million to pave something, you can spend $100,000 and seal it and every 3 to 7 years, really extend that life about as far out as you can.
Great.
Thanks, Tiffany. And then back a little bit more towards the rural section. So the unpaved, some of these soft surface roads, we actually in District 5, which didn't really pull any numbers, but we're pretty confident set a modern day record for the agency. Probably not going to touch this ever again, I would doubt. They spread over 4,000 tons of limestone in one day last week, while we were also seal coating with 20 other people. And I mean, we literally had every person working some very, very important jobs last Thursday. So it was really interesting to see that happen. They, like I say, I mean, that maybe explain volume or give some justification to that response is that's essentially spreading half of the material in our salt building on one road segment in one day and being home before dark.
And just didn't leave it piled up.
No, spread out, rolled in, dust controlled, so it's very, very, very exciting to hear them accomplish that. So that achievement to that group is pretty cool. It's nice. We talk about logistics and being close to certain areas where we get our material. So that was down in Augusta Township. They hit a couple different roads. So honestly, if they were going on a straight road, they probably could have done even more. So it's pretty neat to see that. It's good for the groups to get that opportunity, and they can pester each other to who did more. And so nice accomplishment we had last week for that. So really kick off the year in a good way. Matter of fact, they got done so quick, we had to tell the vendor to hurry up. We needed to switch on Monday because we expected to have 2 more days out there. So that comes back to the
Wow.
cost savings that we talk about, how we kind of audit ourselves in the middle of the year.
Mhm.
Now we'll potentially be able to go back to Augusta Township, maybe in June or July, and say we might have saved, $15,000-$20,000. We might be able to do a little bit more work. So that's where that and new accounting software, things like that, they'll really improve. So it kind of all ties itself together, the efficiencies that we're creating. So.
Commissioner Smers.
Yeah.
Did you guys figure out how to spread stone at speed?
I have no idea. I do have to admit, well, there you go. I do have to admit that,
Oh, movie, yay.
I could, yeah, I'm
Good. There
I'm
you
able
go.
to do quite a few things we do, but I have to say that I don't think I could physically get in a grader and spread 4,000 tons in a day. But this group surely proved that. And honestly, with a newer grader operator. So we
That's
were
moving.
going good.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were going good.
And we
Very
had the
impressive.
trucking to support it. That's a big
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
Early in the season, you got a lot better chance.
Yeah, that's why we push so hard for our agreements to get a lot of these groups started as soon as we can, because we get to hog the vendor. Because while they're waiting to pave or do other big projects, we just basically are an open book, say, bring as much as you can, and then we just next road. So that's why you see that big push to get 8 or 10 township agreements that are a little more simplified right up in the front, or do preparatory work at the end of the upcoming year to kind of prep you into the following
Yeah,
year.
you can kind of see the grader in the background,
Yeah.
beyond the
Marker
truck,
between-
waiting for the truck to come by, and
So they're working backwards, which is an interesting.
this is a local
technique.
road resurfacing,
Mhm.
gravel resurfacing project.
Yeah, so we touched on a few segments. I actually noted a couple of them. So we kind of bounced around that day a little bit, but we were kind of in Augusta Township, so Gooding Road, so our Arcona to Willow area, so you're kind of getting kind of south and east. And then they were able to make the turn on Arcona Road, and then they went Gooding to the railroad tracks there. So they kind of stayed in the same area, so we could just keep the flow moving, because we have rollers as well that are steel drum rollers that, they don't go very fast, so you can only take them so many ways to get to another job. So we always try to tie everything together. That's why you hear us educate the townships often on trying to work in sections and
Mhm.
segments over the course of, a couple of years. Because when we're out there and we have a lucky day like this where we get good material, we essentially want to be able to turn the corner and keep moving and tie those jobs together, because then we're not mobilizing equipment and we're not
Twice.
having to give,
Yeah.
10 vendor trucks, different addresses and different ways and directions to get there. So
Just for context, these drivers, they're driving forward, paying attention to the flagger in the back, lifting the bed, making sure the tailgate's open, making sure they don't stop and dump everything in one spot, make sure they don't move too fast and have gaps. I mean,
And admittedly, we're pretty picky. We want it a certain way and
Really?
expect that. Yeah.
Shock it all.
Right, yeah, surprising if y'all don't know me well enough, but the crew's the same way. And it's good because the drivers start to learn our people, our staff, through the course of the summer. So that's another important reason why we go out for contract and we have a bid with essentially 1 or 2 providers. So we start to get familiar with their staff, their style equipment. Inevitably, it makes us more efficient at some point.
So what's the equivalent of the Golden Plow Award for the most limestone spread?
I guess I'll
per
give
day?
them a bucket of stones. I don't feel bad giving them just rocks, but I just incredibly impressed. Like I say, I'm competent in a lot of things that we do, but that is, I had to tell that to the foreman. I said, I don't think I could have done that one. So very impressive.
Yeah.
It just goes to show we just keep getting better. And like I say, that was a newer operator. So he's only going to get better. So, then another kind of culmination with collaboration, then I'll kind of get away. We don't have pictures for this yet. Ken will build us something, a little bit of a screen, or excuse me, a little PowerPoint we can look at here at a different time, and we'll share some pictures maybe on the update this week. But we've been working through some of the drainage grants we've been talking about. A few of the culverts, we actually landed on basically lining them with an ultraviolet, like polyresin kind of liner, essentially. So we finished our Kona Road last week. It went late into the night. Ken stayed with them. It's dark. They do this kind of cool technique and process, which like I say, we'll show pictures eventually, but inevitably they build basically a giant bag around your culvert to kind of trap it in there. And then they run an ultraviolet cart through there that just very slowly just circles, and that actually cures that resin in place. So you can go through a little bit of deflection in a culvert. And the whole idea is to really not have to cut a big road open, or if it's really deep. So I've watched.
Trenchless rehabilitation.
Essentially, yeah, and even in some cases, you might be able to do. it
You're gonna need
without closing the
pictures to
road.
describe this.
Yeah, it's
Tiffany,
gonna,
did you post one picture at
we
least?
had
of
just a few, we didn't
Matt
have the
was
big
in your-
ones.
I
at
don't
that
have a-
time.
We'll do it next time.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, I
do
don't have a
one
picture.
where
We'll
we
do it
could
next
spend a little bit more time on maybe like a working session or
Okay.
something. Because, this probably looked like there was a spaceship out there in the middle of Arcona Road in the middle of the night because, it glows. And so it's pretty cool. Like, it's really cool at even 12 inches, but when you're talking 72 inches to 76 inches, pretty big situation they had going. So it was pretty neat. Two local towing contractors or companies came, they had to hoist this thing off. When it came in the box, it was 14,000 pounds. And so we thought that was great. That was exciting. Okay, hoisted it. All right, we've seen a lot of cranes, whatever. We put it in there. They drag it through, and then it all of a sudden hit Ken partway through the night, and he's like texting me, telling me, it's the biggest one in North America that they've ever done right now. So we have a little bit of history that we kind of made last week. with that.
Another award.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. They do have one, they have ability to do 90 inches, which is 7 foot in diameter.
Oh, my. word.
Maybe one day we'll get to try that too, but pretty neat process. So kind of making new gains and new bounds every time with our collaboration. So that's internal collaboration with engineering, then it's external with our agencies, townships. The Drain Commission obviously was instrumental in getting us these grant opportunities. And then, the entire staff, Ken, Jared, I mean, we've kind of all touched it in some shape or form. So pretty neat to see that one come. So yeah, we kind of have our name on the map right now for that, but didn't think we'd ever be able to claim the biggest liner in the culvert, but we'll take it.
Okay,
So we were successful and we'll move on, but it is a tactic we can use and a technique that'll probably help us sometime where we're trying to not close major thoroughfares. It's good to have these opportunities that the engineering staff can kind of find us and set us on our way, and then we can pull them through there and cure them. And once they're cured in place, they are pretty strong actually. So they
Yeah,
can
and
help a little bit.
just for clarity, we do have a short-term closure, but it's a short duration.
Mostly for dewatering.
Yep.
It
But-
is what we did.
It's a lot shorter period of construction than if it were to dig it all up and
Replace.
replace it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the backfill and the
Yep.
step backs you have to have.
Well, Ryan Lewis must say,
Oh, no, he's right there helping. No, he's
Yeah.
doing just fine. We got him so busy on seal code, he'll be okay. So. But anyways, if there aren't any questions for that kind of a long-winded, but that's the operations update.
Just got one for you. Is it add structural integrity to the culvert as well? or
Yeah,
just
it
all
actually
that?
does. And I don't have the engineering numbers. They are gonna get back with us on some of them. We did Conway Road, Oak Valley Road, and then we also did this Arcona Road that was the large scale one. And even Conway was pretty large as well. And then Oak Valley was really long. So we did have some fancy ways and some interesting projects there. to
Yeah, I
get
think
us
this is a
done.
great working session topic on a.
We probably should, because we can do,
Yep.
both departments can talk about it, but it does give structural integrity. That resin does, basically cure hard fast.
Right.
So, and we had to go around a utility on Oak Valley and they kind of ramped it up over it. So it kind of sealed around the utility piece. It was actually a pretty neat process. So it's developed a lot in the last 10 or so years. And it is truly a science now. So, and it makes the thing stronger, which you didn't have before with liners.
Right, that's why I asked, because
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with water pipe, but I wasn't familiar with the
Yeah.
culvert, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a great thing.
Great
We
outcome.
kind of stumbled on.
Thanks.
questions for Adam?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
One last thing I failed to mention, I appreciate Commissioner McCollum flagging the Felix article. I thought it was very well done as well, and I want to thank Shelby for that. She did a great job, so. Give credit where credit's due. All right, the communication team, it was a collaborative effort, but she was the driver, so
Great.
they do a great job.
Mhm.
All right, with that, I am done.
All set?
Yep.
I will just say that our next meeting is June 3rd. It's only a 1 o'clock meeting. We don't have a working session that day. I understand there are a couple of folks that won't be here, so attendance by those of you who can will be extremely important. On May 21st, as I mentioned, when Brent was doing his update, there's at 11 a.m., there is a Zoom session to talk about the 2025 construction projects. Chat session tomorrow is Jeff, May 28th. I'm on On call. June 4th is Commissioner Green. You'll remind him, right? Okay. June 11th is Commissioner Yamas. If there's no further business to come before the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Aaron, if you would, please.
Commissioner Gloria Yamas.
Yes.
Commissioner Joanne McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeff Smurs.
Yes.
And Commissioner Barb Fuller.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow on Zoom, and if not then, June 3rd, June already, for our next regular meeting.
Wow.
All right.